All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. We're going to try this again to see if anybody shows up. So we're just going to wait a little bit and then I'll edit this part out later. Let me know in the the live chat over here if you guys are here, okay? Okay, I see 6 people, so it can't just be me. Hello? Is anybody there? If you guys are here, comment in this chat box so then I know that you guys are watching. We're going to start off just by talking about my health and weight loss journey. And I've been trying to lose weight for the past like year, 8 months ish. And it hasn't really helped until the past few months. So I want to talk about some of the things that I have been doing that has helped me. Hopefully, it will help you guys reach your goals as well. And then I will answer a lot of your guys' questions. If this is not something you guys want to talk about, we can always switch subjects. I just want to start off with something and then we can keep it rolling from there. Um, Hi everybody. So in October of last year, I started changing my diet more to a plant-based diet. And so I've been trying to cut out as much like red meat or animal products as possible to decrease my LDL cholesterol. And so there's plenty of studies that have shown that the best way to decrease that is more plant-based. I know a lot of people say like, oh, they go on keto and it does it as well, but there's a good way and a bad way to do keto. And if you do keto with like all animal products and if you just eat like bacon and fatty foods all day, your LDL cholesterol is going to go significantly high. And that's not good for cardiovascular health. It puts you at increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. And so I've been trying to decrease that as much as possible. I have a wellness exam coming next week, and maybe they will order labs on me. So I'll share those numbers with you. But since October, I changed my diet. Nothing really had happened like for the 3 to 6 months that I was doing that weight wise. So I was still the same weight and it was frustrating because I felt like I was eating a lot better. I was eating veggies and whole foods, but nothing was changing in my body composition. And a lot of people were saying that you were probably losing fat and gaining muscle, but I didn't see that much of a difference, especially on my scale that was fat percentage. I use the same scale. And so I realized that I was just eating a lot. I can eat anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500, even possibly 3,000 calories in a day. And that is definitely over the recommended need for calorie maintenance, especially for me. I am 5'4". So I'm going to talk, Kev, I'm talking about like weight loss and health, just like what I've been doing to change my body composition. And then if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment box and we can jump to that. I just wanted to start off with this so we have something to talk about. So I just don't sit here and then stare at the chat section. Okay. So feel free to leave any of your guys' questions on what you want to talk about in this side box. So I did so I changed my diet, nothing has happened. And then it was only over the last 2 months, I would say, I started tracking my calories that I've noticed that I was eating way too much. And so after tracking, I was able to cut down a bit. It was hard. Like cutting calories is super hard for me. Lifting heavy, not as hard for me. And so that was a big change. And so I've cut down and I'm eating around 1,600 to 1,800 calories, and that is when I've noticed the weight change. I haven't been super strict about it. And so the weight change has not been like as drastic. I think I've been losing 1 pound a month. And I've been working out like 4 to 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days. And so when patients come in to my office and are frustrated and they're saying that they're making all these changes and they don't see it, like, trust me, like, I know where you're coming from. It's all about consistency, and a lot of times we fail to have that consistency in our lives, and with social media and with Instagram, and we see everyone going from, like, being pregnant and all of a sudden, like, have these six-pack abs again, like, it makes us have these unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and so I just want to paint this broader picture and say that it's not always gonna be like that, everybody is different, and so, um, you just have to think about what is best for you in that, mental health wise. So, just think of it as a journey rather than, like, I need to make it here. Like, we need to think about stuff that is gonna last us through our lifetime, make better habits that's gonna last us through our lifetime, okay? So, um Kev, I think you're asking about considering between family medicine and internal medicine, which one is the best fit for you. I think that's a really difficult decision to ask somebody else. Like, you have to ask yourself, and I can tell you the differences, and then you can decide whether whichever one is better for you. So, family medicine, as the name describes, we focus more on the family. We see people from birth all the way through their life, even in pregnancy, delivery, into their adulthood, when they're starting families, into their older adult life, geriatrics, and in death. Internal medicine is more of the more complex patients with multiple comorbidities, and sometimes, or most of the time, internal medicine and ends up subspecializing. And so if you go into internal medicine, most people become hospitalists. So they work hospitalist medicine inside the hospital, or they go on to do specialize in cardiology, gastroenterology, rheumatology, endocrinology, all the ologies, And so if you are interested in subspecializing or working more in a hospital setting, then go for internal medicine. If you're more interested in OBGYN, pediatrics, urgent care, emergency medicine, that aspect of it, then I would say do more family medicine. For me, I love like procedures, and I feel like family medicine has more of that. I'm able to do more small procedures in my clinic, like colposcopies, biopsies, and joint injections, and things like that. I feel like internal medicine, you do a lot more. Big procedures if you're in the hospital, like paracentesis and thoracentesis. But at the same time, most people who do internal medicine end up subspecializing based on the data. You can also work in the hospital as a family medicine physician. I had been trained in my residency by family medicine hospitalists, but just know that not all hospitals will allow that. And I think there's also a shift. I don't know if this is actually a shift, but I know in some places they also hire nurse practitioners to do hospitalist medicine. And so I don't know if it would be, you know, hospitals and institutions are all about businesses. And so it is cheaper to hire a nurse practitioner who is under, or, rather than a family medicine physician. So there's that. I haven't been in that market, and I haven't tried to work in the hospital setting. So I don't know how hard it is going to be to get a job as a family medicine physician versus internal medicine physician. So um, I I think overall it always depends on like location and pay and all that stuff, right? Um, Adriana, I think she also asked, like, is nursing school, do you think going to nursing school before medical school is a good idea? I think that any exposure to medicine is a good idea. Um, doesn't mean that you have to have it. I think that exposure gives you a good sense of what medicine is like, and it allows you to make a decision that, you know, where you are aware of what that career entails. Because a lot of people go into medicine not knowing, especially if you were younger and you just went from high school to college and then straight into med school and then residency and then became a doctor. It's really hard to know what medicine is like, especially if you haven't experienced it. So, nursing school, if you're able to rotate with doctors and rotate with in the hospital, I think it will like broaden your understanding of how medicine is and see if you actually like it or not. Um, I think nursing and medicine and medical school are completely different because, like they teach totally different things, but you'll be familiar at least with some of the medications and things like that. And you don't have to be in any science major to go into medical school. I know there are some people who majored in religion or communications and they still went to medical school. You just have to have a good reason of why you chose that major and what makes you truly understand and know that you want to go to medicine when your major is something else. I think you just have to have that explanation, and you'll be fine. I think it also sets you apart from other people who, like, I'm sure schools have hundreds, thousands of applications, and they're all probably bio majors. And so, if your major stands out or if your major is different, then at least it will get you noticed. So, for me, I was a biochem bio major, and then I also minored in dance. And so, that's something that people looked at as well. And I think it gave me a foot up, especially in osteopathic um, schools, just because our whole philosophy of structure and function are interrelated. And so dance plays a lot into that. And so I talked a lot about that, or not a lot, but some of that in my interviews when people were asking. Um, so I'm just going to read over in the chat box to see if you guys have any other questions. Okay. Um, do do you, so Tila said, do you do intermittent fasting? If so, how often do you eat? Also, do you include snacks? Okay, so intermittent fasting, I am a huge fan of intermittent fasting. There's multiple studies that have shown that it decreases insulin sensitivity, it does help with diabetes and just longevity in general. It does not help as much for weight loss. When they did the studies, they found that intermittent fasting is the same for weight loss. If you eat all your calories within that time window, you don't magically just lose weight. But they did found that people who intermittent fast eat 10% less, and therefore it has helped you lose weight. For me personally, I fast from 8 p.m. until 12 noon the next day. I did this throughout medical school. I think I started second year of medical school, and it helped me lose like a lot of weight. I did this throughout my pregnancy just because I wasn't hungry in the morning, and I did it through breastfeeding. I didn't notice that it dropped my breast milk production whatsoever. I was still eating about 1,900 to 2,000 calories a day. And I would just eat all my calories in that 8 hour span. So I was fast for 16 and then eat for 8 hours. And so I break my fast with lunch. I would have my snacks in there and then I would have dinner. And then after that, I would just drink water, anything with 0 calories, is totally fine. Oh, and in the morning, I would just drink black coffee, and that's considered 0 calories as well. Now it's just like a way of life. I don't feel hungry in the morning, and so I just don't eat breakfast. And I find that if I eat breakfast early, then I just continue to get hungrier throughout the day. So during vacation, when we were in Hawaii, the kids always eat breakfast, but I decided to eat with them, and then I just end up eating more throughout the day. And so I didn't see why I should force myself to eat breakfast when I didn't feel like it. I think the studies have shown that like you don't need to breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. It's like when you break the fast, right? And so the previous studies have been done by like Kellogg's and those people who make breakfast foods. And so I wouldn't trust those studies as much because they're probably biased. And so as long as you are feeding yourself, and I think you will be fine. So for weight loss, at the end of the day, is all about a caloric deficit, no matter how you do it. And so for me, intermittent fasting made it a lot easier because I felt satiated, I felt full, and you know, I don't have to think about food the whole day. But I know some friends who don't like it because they just start thinking about food, and it's a very toxic uh, thought process. And so, yeah. Okay. And then I'm also making a video on my advice for new residents, like what things that you can do to be successful as a resident, as an intern resident, and some of the resources that I've used and some of the resources that I recommend. I think this also can apply to medical students doing their third and fourth year rotations, or if you're shadowing a physician or attending or something like that. I think that would be helpful. Um, let's see. Tips on studying. So we talked about tips for studying. I have multiple videos, but I think that studying for boards is not the same as becoming a good physician and studying that way. If you want to study for boards and do well on board exams, then you need active recall. You need to do test questions to test your memory. Passive learning is like reading something, highlighting it. Active learning is more of that recall and testing yourself. And so, what I would say is like when you read through a paragraph, some ways that you can do it is possibly summarize it and restate it in your own words. A better way is writing a question from that segment that you read and then later coming back to it and answering that question that you wrote. And so that is what active learning is more for. And so that is better for tests, but not necessarily better for you as a physician later on. And so I think as a physician, it's better to learn from your patients. Like if a patient comes in with so and so heart failure, then you would read and learn about heart failure later on that night and correlate that to your patient. And so you will end up learning and retaining more because you're associating it with someone. So, pharmacology, it was super hard for me in medical school to learn just because, like, all these new words that I didn't understand. And then now it's a lot easier for me because I'm just like, oh, yeah, I use that medication for this patient all the time. And so, I felt like in med school it was just brute memorization, and now as a resident and as an attending, it's a lot easier because you're using these medications in certain cases. So try to do how what did I do in med school? So I tried to learn them by I knew they were going to be tested on mechanisms of action, the contraindications, and what is it used for, obviously, what it interacts with. And so that's what I tried to study in med school. And then in residency, I just, it came a lot easier. So don't be too hard on yourself if you can't get it in the beginning. Um, So people are okay, I feel like I'm jumping back and forth, so this live is all over the place. But, for my weight loss, I have lost about, 4 pounds, 4 to 5 pounds, depending on how good my diet is, and it's seriously all about diet because I was working out consistently, like, at least 3 to 4 days a week, and I had lost 0 pounds in the first, like, 4 months or so, but I felt better, like, I felt like I had more energy and stuff like that. But now I'm just cutting some of my calories for maintenance. It says that for maintenance, I need 1,800 calories. So if I cut 300 calories in the day, I should lose weight, but I'm only losing like 1 pound a month, something like that. And so it's super hard for me because when I cut calories, I get more tired and I need that energy to play with my kids. And then now, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I just shared that we got a dog. And so it's like super tiring. And I can't lift as heavy. Like I feel tired during my workouts. I don't feel like the energy to push through. And so it's different for me. I hate cutting. Like I can what is that word? It's like either cutting versus, lifting heavy and getting swole. I don't know, winter bulk season. Like, I like bulk season. I hate cutting. It's super hard. Um, so I don't think it really matters what kind of diet you do as long as there's a deficit, then you would have some weight loss. It's all about calories in and calories out, to be honest. There's a uh, good doctor on Instagram that I follow who talks about all the myths of weight loss. I forget his name, but he's like an endocrinologist. And there's this other guy who is from Europe, I believe, who compares foods and calories. It just gives you like a good perspective on what is considered healthy and not healthy. And so I think a lot of the times we are too hard on ourselves and we get mad that we ate a bad food. I'm not trying to look at food as the bad food versus good food anymore. I'm just trying to see it as like, I am feeding myself and this is, I'm I don't wanna say like I'm doing better today, but I think everything in moderation because I wanna make lifestyle changes. I don't wanna cut things out of my life forever because I love donuts and I'm never gonna cut out donuts forever, if that makes sense. Okay, I can't find them on Instagram because I don't remember their name. So I'm just gonna scroll here real quick. Yeah, I can't find it, but I will let you know. Probably I'll leave it in the description box once I find their Instagrams, and I'll let you know what their names are. I'll probably put it after this test or this live. All right. Um, let's see. I've never heard of Greg. Okay. Any other questions you guys want to ask me? What kind of music do I listen to nowadays? I feel like I don't listen to music as much anymore, like anything that's on the radio. But I've been listening to audiobooks because all my free time is dedicated to like audiobooks. Recently, this book I picked up is called, um, let's see, it's called The Top Five Regrets of the Dying. I just opened it and I haven't started reading it yet. But apparently, it was originally a good blog that was viral. And then now this person expanded it. And so I'm reading the book. It's hard because I usually listen to audiobooks, and then this one is actually like I have to read it. And so it's taking me a lot longer. Another one that's ready to read is labeled Getting Things Done: The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen. So that one's on audio. So I'm going to borrow that now so I can listen to it in the meantime. But yeah, um, let's see. So any specific regimen or exercise I recommend for belly fat? Um, I so belly fat, there's something called visceral fat, and other people just have a lot of weight around their pooch or their belly. This can possibly due to like bloating or mainly what you eat. Some people are gluten sensitive, so every time they eat gluten, they can have some swelling in their belly region. Overall, how you get rid of belly fat is just weight loss in general. So cardiovascular exercise can help with that. I'm personally using Tempo, and I bought it back in February. And the reason why I really like it is because they have regimented exercise routines. Like they in their lab have come up with this exercise regime, and then you follow it, and it helps you like build up muscle and then also prevent you from injuring yourself. And that is the main reason why I love it so much. um, I started with just random exercises because I'm like, oh, I only have like 30 minutes. I don't want to do like a whole hour exercise with them. But I found that the classes have been really helpful. I started off with a class that helped me build strength. And so I felt like I had more muscle. And then I did another class that helped me cut. And so, which was more like hit high intensity interval training. And so I found that it was really helpful. Doesn't mean that you need to get something like that, but I think that it would help to follow some sort of routine. Like Insanity was really good for increasing that heart rate and cardio exercise. And I find that um, doing some cardio will help with the belly fat part. Um, but for me, it was like mainly diet when I switched more to plant-based and I didn't eat any of the processed foods. Anytime I eat ramen, it is just like my abdomen, just so much bloating. It's horrible. Like I look like I'm 4 months pregnant. And so I really tried to cut those things out. It sucks because I really love ramen. I really love instant noodles. That's what I lived on when I was in college. And so now I'm kind of sad that I can't eat it anymore. Same with hot Cheetos. Like every time I eat it I get so bloated. Um, oh, and then for exercise wise, I also like, I think his name is what's his name on YouTube? Hold on. Hold, please. Like X line. Oh, Athlean X. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, so he is let me just read you about his channel. Welcome to Athlean X on YouTube. This is where you can find all the latest free workouts, nutrition, and training advice to get on your way to a healthy, leaner, and more muscular athletic body by training like an athlete. Um, I think he was previously a personal trainer. And the reason why I like him is because he actually talks about the science behind it. And he talks about like the mechanisms or the mechanics of how your body works and why certain workouts work. And that's why I like watching him for some of the previous videos before I got P90 or before I got Tempo. So yeah. Um, let's see. Wyatt and London are downstairs. I was considering doing this live on my phone, but I don't know how it would work. So like right before I came on this live, um, I posted on the YouTube community that I was gonna go on Zoom so that so I can see your faces, so we can talk on there. I thought that that would be really fun, but then I posted it on there and I don't think that you guys would get notifications. And so no one came to the Zoom. And so I just turned it off and then I came back on here, the YouTube live. But maybe next week or something like that, we can do a Zoom so I can see you guys and we can talk to each other so I can see faces. But yeah, uh, Wyatt and London are downstairs playing with Stan and our new dog. If you guys don't know or haven't been following me on Instagram, we got a Labradoodle. Her name is Summer, and she is very active. And I'm very tired. She didn't sleep much last night. We just got her yesterday. And so, um, yeah, John Ross, I would totally want to Zoom. But yeah, so I'm pretty tired, but we'll do a vlog on that soon so we can introduce you to her and our new family. But I posted a Zoom link on I would probably have to delete it right now because I don't want people to go to the Zoom live. Anyways, turn on your notifications so that anytime I post the Zoom link, then you guys can um, see me on there. It's just no one was there this time. So I just jumped back on this YouTube live so that you guys can see me. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have today? I feel like it's such a chill live. Let's see. I think we should answer one more question and um then I'll call it a day and then I'll see you guys again next week. How do I interface the Zoom link with the YouTube live? John Ross. Maybe you can how do I do that? I'm reading John Ross's recommendations. Maybe you should just message me on Instagram and let me know how to do that so I can coordinate that next time. But I don't, because I don't, yes, help me offline because I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like one of those old ladies who's sitting here like, how do I turn on this computer? Okay. Um, so let's see. What other questions um, do you guys want to know? Okay. I guess you guys have no more questions. Follow me on Instagram so you guys can see new puppy videos. I'm also thinking of doing shorts on her because it's so cute and it's easy for me just to do like little short things instead of editing like a whole long video. All right, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Um, we're going to try to do a Zoom next time. Okay, I promise. Let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the YouTube community tab or put them in the comment section of this video so I know what to talk about next time. But I love talking to you. I love connecting with you. I think it's going to be better if I can see your faces next time on the Zoom. And if I could connect it to YouTube, that'd be even better. And so, sending you all my love, and I'll see you guys again next week. Okay. Peace.